I'm visiting with Amy Wilson, 2008 Miss Rodeo America. That's quite a title to win right there. And, you know, I'm sure you get asked a lot how you accomplish that, especially by young girls that have aspirations to do something like that. So what would you say, how did you get to that position? I mean, was it something you dreamed about doing, or that you wanted to do, or somebody directed you that way? How did that happen?
So I've always said that my favorite place has always been on the back of a horse. I've just loved horses. So when I was 11, I competed in a local pageant, and it just kind of advanced from there. I mainly was interested in rodeo and wanted to be involved in rodeo, and so that was kind of a way to meet people and be more involved. So that's kind of how it all got started. And once I was Miss Rodeo Kansas, my director was really helpful, and she just said, you need to decide if this is really what you want, and if it is, I'll do everything I can to help you. And so it just came to that point where I decided I wanted to be totally in, and that is what I wanted. So
who was that director that said they would help you?
Her name was Sheila Croft.
And so did she end up really helping you?
Yeah, she did. A lot of it was, you know, I've never seen her on a horse or you know, doing any of that. But she was good as far as just really helping me get focused and get in with the right people. And that's one thing, as I have done Rodeo Queen clinics, I always try to tell girls that no matter how much you know, you can always learn something else. And so that's
Kind of
why I
like
think
horsemanship, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity to talk to people like you and others who are really experts at what they do, and be able to learn and advance no matter what.
Okay, see, so that was an interesting thing you said. You do clinics on being a rodeo queen or achieving that goal.
Right.
And so what are some of the things y'all discuss at a clinic?
So I think it's been very interesting. I didn't judge a pageant until after I was Miss Rodeo America. And so I've told girls, just go to a pageant and pretend that you're a judge, and you see things completely different. The things that really stand out to you, and little things that you notice that maybe when you're competing, you don't, you know, pay that much attention to. And every pageant has a different judging scale. So the majority of pageants, it's a 30-year scores appearance, a third personality, a third horsemanship. It's divided up different. But to me, horsemanship is the most important.
Really?
I think if you're representing rodeo and that way of life, I think you need to be pretty horse savvy and be able to sit a horse well. And so that's what I like to focus on.
Okay, so when it comes to the horsemanship part of being a rodeo queen, now what are the things they're going to ask you to do, and what are some of the things you would recommend a girl to work on to achieve the goal?
So every pageant differs a little bit. At Miss Rodeo America, you get on horses provided by stock contractors, and you don't get to do anything on them. You get on and you walk in the arena, and you do, when I competed, it was a freestyle pattern and a set pattern. And then your Queen's Run, where you wave around the arena. So, and then you had a horsemanship interview later on. So that's how it was set up, and I think it served me really well to have worked at my uncle and my dad's sale barns, because I got on a lot of different horses, riding them through the ring. So I encourage girls to get on a lot of different horses, ride with a lot of different trainers, shadow anyone they can, whether it's an equine dentist or a vet, or, you know, just to learn.
You know, you had an edge a little bit because you came from that background,
Right.
and not all rodeo queens have that opportunity, so that did help you a lot. And as your dad in a sale barn, lots of different horses. So, so again, the personality part, the horsemanship. What was the other thing you said?
Appearance, personality, and horsemanship. But within that are speeches and impromptu questions and interviews, and, you know, a lot of other things are included. Written tests usually. But yeah, I think it would be great for you to tell rodeo queens what you think are some of the basics they should focus on. I mean, there's certain things where no matter what horse you're on, where you look is where you're going to ride that horse, and keeping your heels down, your toes turned out will help you have a better seat. But what things do you think?
Well, just the typical things, you know, the foundation, you know, staying in the middle, knowing where you're going to go before you get there, having a plan, you know, soft, quiet hands so you have a soft, quiet horse, you know, and then working through a feeling of the horse, feeling for the horse, so that, that you have something going on and you have that confidence going between you and that horse, and that's going to show to those judges. You know, one thing I really liked that you said, you know, pretend you're a judge, because like in extreme cowboy racing, I tell people, if you really want to understand what the judges are looking for, go to a judging clinic, because
Right.
you got a whole new aspect there and a whole new angle of what you should and should be not be doing. But as Miss Rodeo American, that had to open a lot of other doors for you.
It really did. I'll be honest, competing at the Miss Rodeo America pageant, I really wanted to win horsemanship. That was a big deal to me.
That was important to
And
you,
I
yeah.
put a lot of pressure on myself to do it, and I did not ride like I should have. I was more nervous about it than I should have been. Then just to go out, and I told you this earlier, I think being a rodeo queen is a mix between the correctiveness of a horse show girl and being a cowgirl and doing whatever it takes, whether you're out on the ranch or in a rodeo event.
Yeah.
And I didn't do that, but it was a good lesson for me, and to be able to help others that no matter what, you have to get that focus, and you have to find where you can just relax, I guess, so that you can be smooth and
that's
be
exactly what I
confident.
was going to say. What was your secret to staying relaxed? Because one time I remember I was watching an interview with Bob Hope, of all people, years and years ago, and they asked him what the secret to, again, just showmanship and being in front of the camera, and he said, relax. So what was how did you get yourself to relax? Because it is a little bit nerve-wracking.
Yeah. So I also use it as an example that the Miss Rodeo America pageant was 10 days. So horsemanship was that
Jeez.
first day, and I couldn't let that affect the rest of the time, or I wouldn't have won. So you have to just, after each thing, regroup and start fresh and confident. So I think the mental aspect of it and everything in life is really important. So I just told myself, you've worked for this, you've done everything you can, you're prepared.
That's confidence,
You're
yeah.
a winner. And so I think telling myself that before each thing made a big difference.
See, that's visualization, seeing yourself being a
Right.
winner. I think that's important in all types of competition. But again, that has opened the doors, and now you're like a top commentator. How many years have you commentated at the NFR?
I've worked for RFD and the Cowboy Channel for about 6 years doing NFR shows during the NFR and the pre-show and things like that. And
Amazing.
now they have a new agreement with the PRCA, so it'll be exciting to be able to be more involved.
Golly, that is
Yeah.
phenomenal. So you get to interview all the top cowboys and cowgirls, and then your show on RFD. Tell everybody about that. You're co-host with
Steve Kenyon,
with
yeah.
Steve, and he does a great job.
Yeah.
And y'all are on how many times a week?
So we're on every weekday, so 5 days a week.
5 days.
Starts at
Now
5
that's
p.m.
tough,
Central.
isn't it?
It is tough.
Yeah.
Thankfully, people like you come visit us at the studio, and we're able
Yeah.
to do some really fun shows. But we get a lot of feedback from people that, rodeo people spend a lot of time on the road, or truck drivers, and they're able to listen to the show and
Good.
be able to hear interviews. And it's fun for me because obviously I love to rodeo. So to get to talk to all the top competitors and across the board too, working cow, horse, or whatever the discipline may be, it's a lot of fun to talk to them about.
I'm going to give you a recommendation.
Okay.
Sometimes, y'all always talk to the top people and stuff like that, but sometimes the heart and soul of rodeo is not necessarily
Right.
the people that make the NFR, that
Right.
are really good cowboys that are out there every day going. So I think sometimes people would like to meet some of those bread and butter people too. So.
All right, we'll get some of them on.
Yeah, that'd be good. I think that they're due, and we don't want to forget the people like the pickup men, sort of the
Right.
unsung heroes of rodeo. But I know you love rodeo. You're an inspiration to a lot of young gals putting on these clinics to how to become a rodeo queen. Jesus, Miss Rodeo America, that's a giant title that you wore so well, 2008, and you kind of just keep the whole thing going, and you represent rodeo and that Western way of life, and you do a great job.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. It's a lot of fun, and it's led me to a lot of opportunities just like this, so I'm grateful.
All right, Amy Wilson, nothing but the best.